for it. This guy's going man mode.
Yo, look at
my goodness.
Wow.
No, can he make it? He did.
Oh, he's got it.
Poor cheese. Oh, Monkey's bird.
Monkey's bird.
Spot. Oh my god. Richard. Oh my god.
He died. Dead. Richard is in the lead. No, they're tied. Richard just died as well.
What?
This is literally synced in the final escape.
Okay, and welcome everyone back to Ori and the Blind Forest. We have only one match for you this evening, but it is a doozy of a match. Number 7 Shed versus number 10 Vulajin. On commentary, my name is Grimelius, and I'm joined by Sigma. What's up, Sigma?
Hey, Graham, I'm pretty excited for this. I'm kind of glad that we only have one match today, because I don't think my heart can take it if this goes on any longer.
Well, I'll toss to you. Do you want to sort of kick us off and tell everyone why this match is probably going to be something special?
Yeah, this is the division finals of the Larry division between Shed and Vulajin, who are both extremely close in skill level. They met up once already in the winners finals of this division, which Shed managed to win. But Vula's looking for revenge. And, like, man, these guys are just both so good. Like, we could see 29s from either one of them in this race. We could probably going to see low 30s, and I'm just hoping it's going to be close and it's going to be fast.
Me too. So now that we've both talked about the fact that this is going to be close, this is a rematch between two people who are very good friends, but also bitter rivals in this particular moment. To run through some of the numbers to sort of prove our points, Vulajin's PB is currently sitting at a 30-13. He's been vying for that 29, and he's going to get there any day now. Shed, in contrast, does have his 29 at a 29-53, but that leaves only a 20-second difference between their PBs. The PB listed on the screen is actually out of date for Vulajin. Vulajin's current PB is 10 seconds faster than that, so they have very comparable PBs.
Yeah, that's for sure. And we been pretty we were pretty excited about this stat screen. Apparently, as you can see, Vulajin runs everything, but he's just been on that Ori grind for the last little while. Like, he really wants that 29. And he said as well that it's been kind of giving him some issues in terms of his race performance, and particularly his last race against Shed in this tournament. He said he really wanted to focus more on no resets and race strategies rather than that grind for a 29, because when you're trying to go faster than you ever have, you kind of forego safety and you just race to the finish. But that's not always the best in a race situation. I think recently, well, he's still been on that PB grind, but he's at least been giving some thought as to how he wants to play in a race setting.
That's right. It'll be interesting to see how things play out. And while we have a minute here, we will be getting the race going nice and soon. But I'm kind of okay if our commentary bleeds into the very early start of the race, since as we know, there isn't usually a lot that happens even in a race this close. The beginning up to Spirit Flame and beyond is not too exciting. So I want to just make a special point to the AGDQ kind of piece of our miscellaneous stats. Vulajin was one of our AGDQ runners. If anyone here in chat watched the race at AGDQ 2018, you were also one of the runners, Sigma, and Shed was one of the backup runners. The only reason he wasn't running himself was that at the time that GDQ submissions closed, Shed's time was not faster than 4 other people who had submitted. Although I think within a month or something, Shed had a faster time. So if what I just said is confusing, the TLDR is that just both of these guys are really freaking good at the video game.
Yeah, if we were going to have 5 people racing at AGDQ, then Shed would have been up there. And in fact, in the practice room, in a lot of the warm-up races, trial runs that we did while we were there, Shed was playing along, and I think he probably had a better winning record than any of the rest of us there. But yeah, he is here to play, busting out multiple color codes right off the bat. I can't believe he threw away pink. I'm disgusted with that personally.
Shed just wanted to He wanted to give himself a better challenge, you know? It's nice when you can see your character, but sometimes you just wonder, what would it be like if you couldn't see your character? And Shed is showing us that. Or, more accurately, not showing us that.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going to change that or if he's going to keep it. It's definitely not the worst color imaginable, but it's quite something. So both players just getting past this Rhino here. It's like the one thing that you can do that's not just holding left in this segment is try to carry your momentum with a jump through that wall as it crumbles. And it's always hard to tell if somebody actually got it, because it makes almost no difference, and there's like all the dust from the wall falling at the time that it happens.
So as you can see, we've had basically no differences. We have almost exactly simultaneous explosions from Sign. Next up, we're going to be taking out these 3 Frankies, and I would expect them to be very comparable. Vulajin is playing on controller, so in theory, his shots will be very, very slightly slower. Although, I mean, Vulajin, even on controller, can pull out those shots very quickly. So as you can see, we're still virtually exactly tied, and I would expect that tie to continue for quite a while. If it doesn't, it probably means that something went horribly, horribly wrong before wall jump, and I don't want that to happen.
Yeah, Vula's taking a little bit of a lead here. He got the jump over the spore near the end of the Frankie fight A-okay, so he got a little bit of time there. And Shed missed the dodge on the first slime before the jump pad, so he took some damage from that. He didn't take any other damage, so it's not too concerning. And Vulajin actually gets a health drop here, so that might let Shed catch up. Vula might try to dodge this, but no, he's going to take the animation, so that slows him down momentarily. And you're going to see him, yeah, he stops there to take some extra damage so that he can get a 1 health ghost door right here and die quickly.
Yeah, that's a nice little adaptation by Vula. I mean, it wouldn't have cost him much extra time to take the additional damage in the water, but I mean, what the heck? Save yourself a half second. Against an opponent like Shed, I think it's fair to say that you'll need every single second and half second that you can get.
Yeah. I don't think Shed has gotten a health drop yet, so Vula's going to catch back up as soon as Shed opens up the flower on the roof here, because he's going to have to get an animation. Oh no. Maybe he did. It must have stacked earlier on, but he had a little bit of a movement hiccup there, which lets Vulajin pull ahead just a little bit once again. This is kind of, typical fare for a wall jump segment between 2 close runners, is things will go kind of back and forth. And man, energy drop for Vula. Oh, Shedman had one as well, but manages to hop over it. He took some weird damage there though. That's some race nerves if I've ever seen it, taking damage from that. And yeah, feeling the drop down too. So Shed's probably not feeling the best. And there's his health animation.
That is a little bit unlucky as far as drops go. It's still not going to be hugely impactful, but I'm going to sort of interrupt myself. There's something very important, Sigma, that we didn't mention in our little 2-minute pre-show, which is that this match, being a division finals match, is best of 3, but with one very important caveat, which is that Shed has a 1-win advantage going in. And that's actually, surprisingly enough, not because Shed beat Vulajin once before, but just because Shed is in the upper bracket, whereas Vulajin lost one match earlier in this tournament and then won his way back to division finals. So keep in mind as you go through this that the stakes are high on both sides, but especially high for Vulajin, because Shed can afford 1 loss and still win the division, whereas Vulajin cannot.
Yeah, basically, you can look at it. Oh my gosh, okay, Vulajin is in some trouble now. He just took 2 damage, manages to get his movement up there next time, but you don't want to be damaged during this section. It won't slow him down if he does, the same kind of risky, well, not really risky, but normal damage boosts, as you can see him going here, but now he's down to 1 health. So he has to be careful moving through the rest of Glades here. Vulajin right now will die to any damage, and yeah, he opts for a little bit of a safer dodge in that slime. Normally he'll shoot it to manipulate its shots, but he did a turn back instead because it's way more consistent. And he'll place a save now, so that's going to feel a bit better.
That's smart. I was wondering if Vula was going to stop for a moment to grab the health. He did not. Now, this is interesting, too. Right now, we're suddenly much closer, and the reason is that Shed had to take a pit stop for like a second or two in order to grab a 15 experience orb. And the reason he did that is not just because it was shiny and caught his attention. It's because Shed will be doing Slime Genocide, which is something we've seen numerous times in this tournament now, but the summary is that you take out a bunch of slimes to grab all of their experience, and if done properly, it lets you catch an earlier cycle, right, Sig?
Yeah, that's correct. So what's going to happen is you're going to see a bit of a difference here. Shed's stopping to kill all of these slimes, and this makes it look like he's behind right now, but this entire area is bounded by platform cycles that you're going to meet later. Oh no! Vulajin slipping up on the platform jumps, falls into the 3 damage spikes at the bottom of that room, so it's going to send him back to the start of Blackroot, and that gives Shed a big advantage moving through here now.
That is absolutely tragic. It's well, it's not funny. That's the wrong word for it. But Shed told us in advance that he was very nervous for this race. I even saw
Oh
Shed.
god, Shed is going to lose a lot of time right now.
Yep. Just like that, we're pretty much tied again. So we had sort of comparable deaths on both sides, unexpected deaths given the level of these runners, but I guess Blackroot Burrows can cause grief for even the most experienced among us.
Yeah, Shed had a bad time with the Lantern Slime. That's the hardest part of the Genocide route, is getting past that slime efficiently, and he missed the shot and then got hit backwards. Oh, Vulajin is dead, but he has a save that's closer than Shed's was at that point, so Blackroot is quite strong right now. Shed makes a cycle there, that's pretty good. After you die once in Blackroot, sometimes the platforms can just be all kinds of wonky, so it's good that it worked out for him. Lula heading up through the laser section now, so still a little bit behind the Shed because of that extra death there, but, you know, not such a bad thing. I mean, we've seen these kind of early deaths. Oh, good lord.
That's
there goes
huge.
A lot of time for Shed. Holy smokes.
My god. Those slimes are snipers in the best of cases, and usually they just hit you and they sort of damage you and annoy you. But on these platforms in particular, in Blackroot Burrows, you have to carry this enormously dumb orb around and move really slowly. That's, as far as like Blackroot time losses go, that's not insignificant. I mean, look how close Vula is now.
Yeah, because that messed up Shed's platform manipulation in the next room, since it was active for a lot longer than he expected it to be. Now, he did get not the worst cycle. He's just going to try to skip through this laser up here. He does that A-okay. Good job from Vula as well. I was holding my breath a little bit there because that part is easy, but if you mess it up, you lose like a mind-boggling amount of time. So both runners making it through, I don't want to quite say in one piece to dash, but, you know, they're still close, which is good.
They shattered into the same number of pieces, and I will say that both Vulajin and Shed are watching each other. They always do, and so that will be sort of good news on both sides, right?
Vula's going for the cutscene stack here.
I see him
mousing like crazy, so I don't know if he did it intentionally or not. But he is going to go for this blind movement out of Blackroot, whether he meant to or not. This is going to be really huge right now. So the movement that Shed just did, Vula's going to try to do it blind.
Oh my god. I
hope the camera stays up. It stayed up. Okay, he made it across all the way. I actually had no idea if he was going for that intentionally or not.
I have to say, I'm just happy to see both runners come out of BRB. Like you said, not exactly in one piece, but at least intact. This is a race that will probably end up being close enough that if either runner had, for example, taken that rough death you mentioned, that might have cost the race right there. So it's strangely fortuitous that they both had roughly comparable deaths. I mean, Vulajin, do my eyes deceive me? Vulajin actually caught a tiny bit of a lead.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Shed moving out of Blackroot, because I was just like focused on Vulajin not messing up that blind movement. But Vula's actually ahead going towards the end of Pronto up now. We've got synced Death Gauntlets coming up right here. The runners can't save through this section. They have to dodge their way through all of this spooky stuff. Shed going for the damage boost, Vulajin going for the dunk, and here comes the Death Glide from both players. Shed fails it, but stays alive, and Vulajin nails it, so he is up. Oh my god, Shed right up.
We both saw that. Shed was perilously close to those spikes. He will survive, and I would expect to see Shed drop a safety save, the same one that Vulajin just dropped in a moment. As long as Shed makes it through these slimes, he did just fine. So we are down to Moon Grotto, a race that is much closer than we expected, and we're coming up to Grotto Cycle. Shed has a slightly better success rate, but Vulajin gets it today. Very important. If Shed misses this will be an 8-second gain for Vulajin. And he did miss it, so that's going to be 8 seconds for Vula. Shed behind and losing just a little bit more time here.
Yeah, I like that 60-40 probability going on screen. As you can see, this is how probability works. Because Vulajin got it, and their chances add up to 100%, there is no way that Shed was going to make that cycle.
That's right, there's only so much percentage to go around, Sigma. So with that, Vulajin's going to be the first to make it to double jump. Vula, as always, will be doing his blind movement. Shed on the left with a quick death, but a very, very quick death is not going to cost him a lot of time. Unfortunately, 2 of them doubles the time loss. Let's see how well Vula did in his blind movement. Made it all the way up the right wall and jumping off to the left. So not as good as it's possible to do, but certainly very, very good. Shed is going to get his shot at it momentarily also.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes for Shed. I feel like both runners may be hopefully relaxing a little bit more now, although this kind of situation is still really, really tense, like knowing that you're close, but they've both got to breathe a sigh of relief that the race is not already over from the mistakes they made in Blackroot, because their opponent did the same thing. Like, I think at this kind of skill level for these runners, if one person does like what these guys did in Blackroot, like the race should be over if the other person's Blackroot goes well, because it's easy enough to play safe and just not lose basically a minute. But we're still in anybody's game territory right now, because these guys are super close to each other and they're gonna have to be going for all the tricks.
I just love this, dude. They're really just demonstrating why their seeds and their PBs are so close to each other. Both Vulajin and Shed got a first try Grotto skip, and Grotto skip is not exactly hard. It's just one of those tricks that is just hard enough that it can sort of infinite you, especially if you're nervous. And I'm sure Vulajin is nervous. I know Shed is especially nervous, although after BRB, his play has been pretty clean. I mean, apart from missing the Grotto cycle, he's been playing just fine, and more importantly, very comparable to Vulajin.
Yeah, Vula got the dash through Gandalf the Slime there, letting him pass today, so that's pretty cool. And see how Shed's movement goes through Grotto. Oh, a little bit of a flub, but damage doesn't matter too much in this area because you get a health back from this flower coming up your Shed, and then you can also save to heal yourself. Right now, we have a surplus of energy, so you can make saves a lot, and you'll see runners just placing saves here and there just because there's no reason not to, but later in the run, we'll be saving all of our energy for movement. And if you see somebody place a safety save, it's kind of a calculated, like, I don't want to say risk. It's the opposite of risk, but you know what
just
I mean.
A calculated choice.
Yes.
As it were. Vulajin made a pit stop at the Thornfelt Swamp Teleporter. We will be returning there quite a bit later in the run, actually, after we've acquired every single skill in the game, so sort of keep it in your memory or just forget about it. I've already forgotten about it, except the Shed's about to go there. I think this is about as much of a breather as we're going to get in the speedrun, and it still has a lot of precise movement. But it's maybe not quite as hectic as some of the sections that we have coming up right away.
If all goes well, we don't have any cutscenes for quite a while.
That is true. So I almost hesitate to ask, but do you have any predictions for the Ginso tree, or are we going to kind of see the delta remain about the same, you think?
I think both players are going to have reasonably good Ginsos. I don't think Vulajin's going to lose enough time to let Shed catch up. I don't think Shed's going to, have any issues really going through. You're going to see one difference here. Vulajin's going for the top route through this room. I'm pretty sure Shed uses the lower route, which is like half a second faster, but a little bit scarier. So we'll see Shed as he comes to the top of the schemer room. Vulajin making quick work in the first half again, so no real problems. And now we do get to take a little bit of a break because just have to wait for this shooter to go. So let's watch Shed. He's going to go lower route here. So this involves an intentional damage boost off these spikes, which kind of craters you and iframes the lower spikes. And it's scary, but it's faster, so that's why you go for it.
I think you just described the entire speedrun by saying that. Vulaj worked his way into the mini-boss. We're seeing Vulajin get off some very, very fast shots, taking a bunch of damage. Vulajin will be okay as long as he doesn't do that. With that, Vula is still in the lead. He's going to have to restart the mini-boss from a full 40 health enemy to take down, though. That's definitely what Shed needed. Not enough to catch up, but enough to make Vula sweat a little bit more.
Yeah, that start to the mini-boss was just a total mess. And oh man, not getting a good read on that spawn as well. So Vula's mini-boss, not great. Let's see how Shed's doing. He's cruising on through. There's some intentional damage from Vula at the end. He's just trying to set up his next death. And man, having some trouble climbing that wall there. So, oh god, Shed, good lord. This mini-boss is not supposed to be that scary, but apparently today he's quite strong.
It's one of those things that can just go badly. It goes perfectly if you play it perfectly, and if not, things just sort of compound on themselves. Thankfully, we are through on both ends. Vulajin is going to be taking an intentional death right about now, working his way through. Also, I think got the hyperspeed off. At least a sort of half hyperspeed. We'll see if Shed can get the same.
Yeah, some people don't even go for this because it barely saves any time over regular dashing. And if you go for it and think you got it and then you didn't, then you lose a bunch of time. But both players, they've got Bash now. Vula's cruising on through the upper part, going for this top redirect puzzle. And oh, managed to catch that shot. That was looking scary for a little bit, but he gets up there. Shed's coming into the same puzzle right now. They're really close to each other here. Vula going for the top platform. K-Dupe gets the setup perfectly. Here comes Shed's redirect. He nails it. So, oh man, this is so close. That many
I want to
really
almost interrupt you, Sigma. I apologize. Vulajin failed his K-Dupe twice in his race against Sikinar, and he got it today with a pretty fast one as well, using his iframes to get up there cleanly. Sorry to interrupt you. I wanted to just make sure that everybody saw that.
Oh yeah, that's important stuff. He said before the race that he really was gonna just tilt out of control if he failed K-Dupe, because it's not a hard trick, but like there's so many tricks in this game, and every day like one of them's gonna have your number. Oh, Shed's going for the muffin deboost. That saves about half a second if you do it right, but he messed it up, so he had to take another lap through as Vulajin cleans up the second enemy that you kill in here. I don't really want to call it a mini-boss. It doesn't really deserve that name.
Dude, I'll sign the petition to just say for the rest of the tournament, we just call him, like, I don't know, he's basically a static obstacle at this point. He does not pose much of a threat at all. Anyway, I also want to draw attention to the right side again, because Vulajin being in the lead is going to be the first to approach his swamp entry, and Sigma, you and I were both watching these guys practice just in the few minutes before the race, and I saw Sigma going, or sorry, Vulajin, you're not racing, saw Vulajin going for a sort of interesting approach to this trick, which is closer to the double bash method, but uses a dash instead. I want to see how Vulajin is going to execute this thing.
Yeah, really nice blind movement from Vula. He manages to get all the way to the frog, and we'll see how Shed's goes. But here comes Vulajin, and oh, looks like, okay, he's going for something more consistent than what he was practicing. He's going for the sort of easier way to do this with the double jump manipulation. Oh, nice job of recognizing that the shot wasn't too high. He bashed the frog there and died. So not the fastest swamp entry for Vula, but he gets in there first try as Shed takes a little bit of a bath. His health should still be okay. He's going to be going for these double bashes now. Just needs to get one double bash on this shot and then another one to redirect it up, and he is through as well. So a bit better swamp entry for Shed there, but Vulajin definitely, you know, still maintaining his lead, playing solid, not making any big mistakes.
That's right. Also had a nice damage boost along the spikes on the left wall as Vulajin approaches Stomp. I'm going to be looking, looks like Vulajin is going to be getting there. I missed the exact time, but I want to see when Shed gets there and see roughly what our delta is. Shed did miss a jump up top, so that's going to cost him not a lot, just a handful of seconds, although, as we've said a handful of times, a handful of seconds in a race like this could end up being the difference between victory and a loss.
Yeah. Now, I think I saw Vulajin's stomp time at 17:38, and Shed coming in with just below 18, which is actually, to me, really impressive that they pulled off that time, given how bad their black roots went. Everything since then has actually been quite good, because these guys would normally be looking for low 17s or just barely sub 17 kind of stomp times in PB attempts. So they're only, looking at about a minute behind that right now. Now, Shed is a bit behind, but Vulajin's coming up to curve cutscene skip and already has a little bit of flubs with the movement setting up. So let's see if he can get this, and he sets it up, and he does. So he's through. Shed's gonna have to match that. That's a 17-second cutscene that he can skip with that precise bash, and it's a pretty big deal to get it. So let's watch Shed over on the left. Can his setup work out as well as Vula's?
Come on, Shed.
It doesn't.
Does miss it. Shed is going to opt to exit and reload because exiting and reloading and getting the trick successfully on the second attempt is still faster than watching the cutscene. But of course, you have to actually get it on the second attempt, which Shed did, albeit not with a perfect bash through, but it's enough to skip the cutscene. That is going to solidify Vula's lead by just a little bit. And remember that both Vula and Shed are watching the restream, so Vulajin knows that he's ahead, and Shed knows that he has some catch up to do.
Yeah, something big here is Shed is at 1 health right now, and there's normally a damage boost that you do here, but he didn't remember. He took that damage right after his save, and
that is tragic.
Oh my gosh, that is a really big time loss. He could have saved down here afterwards, but normally you don't even think about that. Normally you don't need to. But he didn't remember that the damage stuck from those spikes, and oh man. He's getting through here fast on the second attempt, but that is okay, that's scary. Okay, nice save from Shed there with that double bash. But Vula is definitely in a commanding position going towards Valley now.
That is such an unfortunate death for Shed, though, and it's so easy to do in the midst of a race, especially if you're nervous. You're just going to go on autopilot and do what it is that you're going to do. You're not thinking I mean, you're never at 1 health there. It's just very unlucky. I mean, it's technically not luck, but you know what I mean.
Oh my god! Vulajin, he messed up the frog juggle strat to skip the left wall, and then he went for the fish one. And unfortunately, the fish was not in a good position for the frog juggle. Ends up using the left wall, and smartly, this is exactly the kind of thing that you want to watch the restream for in Vulajin's shoes. Placing that save there. He definitely would not have done that if he was behind, but he knows how big his lead is, and he knows that as long as he doesn't eat a big death back to the Spirit Tree, he's going to hold this lead going in feather. So here comes Fast Stompless. Vula has got a great tournament record with this, but maybe he's had some qualms about this trick in the past. Now, this shot looks pretty good. He's got the cell, and I lied, the shot was not good.
That is rough. Vulajin is doing this trick on controller, which makes it arguably more difficult. Well, not really arguably. It is more difficult on controller. You just have to sort of aim the shot by sight rather than by using a visual cue on the cursor. So that's going to be a pretty substantial time loss for Vulajin. Still not enough for Shed to catch up outright, but it's going to be a lot closer. And we have some very, very difficult sections coming up next. So Vulajin had to go out of his way and stomp rocks normally. Shed over on the left is going to be taking his attempt at Fast Stompless in just a moment as well.
Yeah, Shed also took damage in this section and then placed the same save as Vulajin. So he's back to full life, but it does mean that they're both going to have to do something a little bit different with their energy coming up. They're either going to have to pick up an extra one that they normally wouldn't, or, you know, save on the teleporter perhaps. So we'll see what the choice is. Looks like Vulajin leveling Charge Dash on the teleporter will give him enough energy for Suro now, I believe. So he's okay. Shed's going to have to do something similar. And we're, you know, still pretty close. Shed's stuck in this cutscene for a little while, but Vulajin's coming up on one of the tougher tricks in the game, Suro Bash. He does this really aggressive version of it with no double bashes and charge dash. He kills the bird. He is able to get that bash. As the bird dies, he gets up there. He is in, but no saves from Vulajin yet. You want to use a lot of energy on your rocket jumps, your charge dashes, all that stuff through here. So, you know, if he dies, he's all the way back behind Shed at Feather, but he's going on up. He has no energy left now. And he has to get through these spikes, which are all a one-hit kill. And he does it. God.
I don't think I breathed for that whole time, dude. Holy cow. Shed on the left also got through his Saro Bash nice and fast, though. So Shed is still on Vulajin's.
Oh my god, no way! Vulajin died to the spikes right before charge jump. That is such a brutal death to take. His bash aimed down. He was moments from safety, and now he's got a huge disadvantage. Shed's all the way through Suro, and Vulajin has to start it again and drop an energy on his rocket jump entering, so his energy's in an even worse scenario than it was last time.
Vulajin's going to have to dodge a rocket jump. I think that's the most logical choice here, which is going to lose him additional time. I'm guessing he's just going to float up. No, he's not. He's going to go back down.
Yeah, he's out. He can't rocket jump now.
Yep, I think he was on autopilot there, as you see with Vulajin. There, he has the energy, although at this point, he's just going to float up anyway. I would not be surprised to see a safety save at the top at this point, rather than floating over to the left for the Ghost Door. That is pretty huge for Shed, though. Knows he's in the lead, executes his Terror Break, so Shed has not been having any issues with this zone. That is just unbelievably tragic. Sigma, both you and me looked probably from right over to left. The moment we saw Vulajin get past those spikes, in our minds we said, okay, he's through, it's over. He's through the Dorito Cave. But there are still spikes afterwards. We just always forget about them because it's so rare to die.
Yeah, and as well, because normally if your energy management goes okay through that section, you place a save to do a Ghost over there. So even if you died on those spikes that Vula took death to, you know, it's a minor time loss. Like, you have a save right at the door. But because of the energy problems, man, Vulajin took a big death there, but still, you know, he's coming into Sunstone fast, and like, he is going just pedal to the metal right now. He did not save before the spikes on the second time. He used that save afterwards to save like 5 seconds, and he knows he just needs to play as fast as he can.
Well, that's not the first lead change we've seen. I mean, we were pretty close for a while, and then Shed had some issues allowing Vulajin to take a pretty substantial lead. We had, you know, another rough death from Vulajin, but Shed on the left coming into Misty Woods. Misty is another dangerous area that at this level of play, you'll see very, very few safety saves, except for that one. I will say that Shed pointed out in advance that since he's watching the restream, that Shed might take some additional safety in a race like this. Similar to how Vulajin took his safety save heading towards Fast Stompless, I think it's a very smart choice to do what Shed is doing and taking the additional safety.
Yeah, basically you just want to avoid those gigantic deaths. Like, you know, Vulajin might have made a save before the spikes, when he was in the lead there, but just because he was out of energy, he couldn't. And now you're definitely going to see no safety whatsoever from Vulajin. He is playing to PB strats right now. Shed basically just has to, play pretty well. He can drop energy on saves now and again. He can go not as fast as humanly possible, and he has a big lead right now, so he's able to do that. But Vula has to just hope for mistakes, and he has to play well himself. But kills the frog. He's got this quick backup though with the rocket jump off the mortar worm, so that's not a huge time loss, but that's not something that he's gonna want right now. And look at him just tearing through this section. But Shed as well, going through Misty. Both players practicing this before their run, and I just want to see how well they can pull this stuff off. Shed gets to that third keystone now as Vulajin has picked up the second, and he is making his way through towards the end of Mystic quite quickly.
We haven't really seen any safety saves from Vula, as Nance is pointing out. I haven't seen them from Shed either. It's possible I missed one. I mean, God, these guys are so fast. It's always possible that you miss something. But I haven't seen a lot of safety saves from Shed. If he makes a safety save, he'll probably make it right about here. Yep, very smart decision. You can afford the extra energy, especially given that there is a level up coming up at the mini boss. That save especially is nice because the second half of Misty Woods is, in my opinion, one of the hardest sections of the entire run. See, Vulajin just took a quick death on the right. It's so easy to die here because you're just going so freaking fast and everything's trying to hurt you.
Yeah, here comes Shed's mini boss. He does not get the quick kill, but he's set up safely for the... Well, it looks like it's going to be like 2.5 cycles because he has to stomp that one after it's already gone down. So not the best mini boss, but he's losing seconds on what's a mere minute lead right now. So Shed definitely feeling good about his position in this race. Vulajin is just going through as fast as he can. He did take that one death after climb, but oh man, Shed took some damage. He's down at 1 health right now. Oh no, my god! I can't believe that I nearly landed on that slime shot.
Well, Shed is through, pulling out some knife stop cancels, so Shed is out. He'll be teleporting back to Blackroot. Vulajin is just not slowing down. You'll see him with a bit of a pre-charged wall jump up the wall. There he goes. Vulajin will be coming up on his mini-boss soon. At this point, Vulajin needs a mistake from Shed. That's about all there is to it. Vulajin's execution alone is not enough to take back the lead.
Yeah, at this point, you have to look towards the end of the game. There's some really difficult tricks at the end. Door warp, which everybody's going to have to do, and the grenade jump, which saves about 35 seconds. So Vulajin's goal at this point, if he can't catch up by the end of the game, by the last dungeon, he at least has to be close enough to force Shed to go for a grenade jump and potentially miss it. And right now, I don't think he's in range of that. He definitely needs to catch up probably about 10 seconds because he was about 47 seconds back at the climb tree. And that's going to be tough because there's not much run left. We're running out of time here.
I haven't seen Shed make a single error, and I've been watching him pretty closely here. I mean, Vulajin hasn't either. Vulajin is playing out of his mind right now. But I mean, as we said, there's only a 20-second difference between their PBs. Shed even has a sub 30, and Vulajin is real close. So you're going to see comparable execution. Right now, Shed has made it to his final skill of the game. He's not going to mess with any grenade jump shenanigans. He's not going to become Covert Muffin. He's just going to head out of this area, try to not die, just make it to Horo as fast as possible. Shed knows as much as Vulajin does that all he has to do is win by any means. And so to that end, as you were saying, Sigma, I would not be surprised to see Shed avoid the grenade jump at the end if he has enough of a lead.
Yeah, and it can be sometimes hard to tell as well while you're playing because you're looking at your opponent's stream and there's some stream delay and you're also trying to focus on the final escape. But Shed definitely in a pretty comfortable position right now, looking to be, still has a pretty good lead, but messes up that rocket jump there, so loses a little bit of time back. This next area can be pretty scary because he's not going to opt to save. There is all this lava around, which will one-shot him coming up. Normally it's pretty... Oh, goodness.
Sorry, I just wanted to point out, my sigh, I think, interrupted you. Vulajin missed his perfect movement coming out. We had about a 38-second delta back at the light grenade tree, and Sigma, remind us how much time the final grenade jump saves if you get it first try?
It's 35 seconds.
Which means that technically, again, it's hard to tell exactly. We know, but it's harder for Shed to tell. If he gets a first try warp and gets through very cleanly, he might skip the final grenade jump. To be honest, I'd be surprised if he did at this point because it's not perfect. And Shed pulls off I think that was a perfect grenade jump. Grenade jump, not grenade jump. The other freaking
grenade warp.
Grenade warp, yes. Yeah. Perfect door jump. Shed just has to do the final escape. He has to get through it cleanly. If Shed dies, it will instantaneously force a grenade jump, but if he doesn't, right now this is Shed's race to lose. Shed just has to finish it out strong. That's the only thing.
Yeah, Vula is trying to make it close. I think at this point, if you're Shed, you have to do it. I believe... Oh, my... Okay, there's one death, but it's pretty quick at the start. Shed knows he has to grenade jump now, and he has to nail this escape, so... You may be feeling a little nervous. He has to do the 5 health swim at the end of this, which uses, well, you know, all of your health. You have one left after you get out.
Oh my god, Vulajin got a first try as well. That's double first try. Vulajin starting the escape. Shed is coming up to the poison water. This is one possible place where Shed could die. This is not an easy swim, especially on a keyboard. But he's 1 fish, 2 fish. He's out. He's going to do the grenade jump. He has to. Yeah. Shed has to get this first try. Well, not first try. He has to get it quickly. If he soft blocks, he might be handing the race away to Vulajin.
And there's his input, and he's done it.
That's it. Shed will take the victory. Did not give Vulajin a chance to catch up after that catastrophic death just before charge jump. I cannot believe Vulajin took that death earlier, but GG to Shed to capitalize on that mistake.
Yeah,
what a performance.
Vulajin going for his 5 health swim as well. No manipulation on the fish, so he takes 3 damage before the first one. He manages to get through anyways. Can do that, it's just a little bit scarier, but he's going for everything right now. Unfortunately, Shed just has to hold right to finish. Here comes Vula's grenade jump. Doesn't get it on the first attempt. Setting it up again. Doesn't get it on the second attempt, so it's, I think he probably knows at this point that it's over as Shed finishes up now, and Vulajin gets that grenade jump and gives us the old ooh.
I saw the GG from Vulajin in our race chat with Sheds as well, so Vulajin will be holding right and finishing up strong. I have no doubt that Vulajin will be disappointed by that, but keep in mind these guys are good friends that are both primarily here just to put on a good show for everyone, try to race their hearts out, which they both absolutely did. Someone was always going to walk away the winner and someone was going to be eliminated. Really just a surprising outcome, not necessarily in the final result, but in the way that it happened.
Yeah, I was thinking, I mean, this race was pretty exciting, but kind of just mistakes on both sides got us here. It was, you know, a couple minutes slower than these guys are definitely capable of, but they played so well. Like, the mid-game from both players was so strong, and then a couple of just big mistakes really decided how the race went.
I'm not sure what to say. Thankfully, I guess we'll be getting in both Shed and Vulajin for interviews shortly, and so we can let them do the talking for us. And here they are. Hey, Vula. Hey, Shed. Welcome, guys.
Hi.
Have you both breathed, or were you holding your breath for the last 40 minutes?
I'm still not breathing.
How about you, Vula?
Oops, mic muted. Stop breathing around sorrow.
That has to be one of the most tragic deaths I've ever seen, and we don't have to sit here dwelling on it, but I guess I just want to ask you the first question. I would just ask you how you're feeling about it, although that might be obvious, so maybe I'll just ask. Yeah. I guess I want to ask you a strangely specific question, Vulajin. Did you have issues with left stick stomping? Is that what killed the frog in Misty? If you remember correctly?
Which frog are you talking about?
There's a frog when you enter Misty and you do the rocket jump off of him.
The idiot. Yeah, maybe. I don't even know what happened there. I have that periodically. I'm pretty sure the thing that killed me in Sorrow was a flub to stomp, though, or more accurately, a stomp cancel. I lost the energy on the bird on the way in. I went to cancel a C-dash. Energy went away. I rocket jumped in. I was out of energy by the time I knew I was going to be out of energy by the time I got up there. Would have had a ghost door save if not for that.
Well, Shed, I guess we'll toss the next question to you. I mean, you did walk away with the victory here. How did you feel that your play changed watching the restream and knowing that you were behind up until roughly the charge jump area?
Honestly,
or afterwards, I suppose.
Honestly, like, normally my play kind of play would change and like how I was feeling would change. That entire run, I was so nervous and shaky and terrible. It was, it didn't matter what was happening on Vola's screen for most of the run. I was just like panicking.
It's understandable, Sigma. I'll toss to you, I think, if you have things to ask our runners.
Yeah, shit. I wanna delve into your mind a little bit here. At the start of the race, you said you weren't feeling maybe the best about Blackroot, and that was quite the Blackroot. So
exactly the thing that I felt bad about happened. Like well, I got the thing I was worried about. I got the platform cycle. Everything else was not good.
Yeah, so did those mistakes in any way help you calm down, or did they just make you more nervous?
They made me more nervous. Even despite I saw Vola had the event, then all of my spaghetti, then I just got even more nervous because I knew it was still a race at that point. And then you saw what happened on the way to double jump. Literally every single thing that I could possibly go wrong that wasn't a death went wrong. So.
And also you died.
And also I died. That happened too.
I saw that. So a comment I made before the race was that my goal was to win, and I didn't really care what the circumstances were, and I was very serious about that. So, with no disrespect to my opponent, I was very happy about the deaths and the problems in BRB.
Oh no, I'm sure you would be. Yeah.
I got a lot of energy from being ahead for a while there. That felt very good. Phew.
I want to ask you guys something that may, at least temporarily, lighten the mood. I mean, it just sucks. I mean, you're both so good at this game, and you both put so much into it. I mean, Shed, congratulations, absolutely. I don't mean to, diminish your victory.
Thank you.
It just sucks that one of you was always going to get knocked out of the tournament today.
My feelings right now is that I honestly feel like I shouldn't have won that race. I stole it, basically, is what happened there. And while I'm happy for that, it sucks.
Were you guys, you were both watching the restream, right? So after Blackroot Burrows, you both had a bunch of spaghetti and ended up almost exactly tied.
Yeah.
Coming out of Blackroot. Was that something that you were both consciously aware of? And if so,
very much so.
To me, at least, it was almost amusing. The fact that it still kind of equaled out after Blackroot Burrows. That's not exactly a question, but I guess is it something that you noticed?
Yeah, I was looking constantly. I have both his stream and the restream open, so I had his stream to have a good idea of how roughly close to where I am right now, how far ahead or behind is he, and then I had the restream open for let me glance over there periodically and just get a direct comparison at some known point. But yeah, I was just constantly looking, and when he took I happened to look over when he took the death going to double jump. And that was a huge confidence boost. I was like, oh my god, this is my segment. I am so good at this segment right now. Then I died to the mini boss. Lol.
The mini boss is strong, dude. All right, Shed, I want to throw another question your way. So
sure.
Moved on from this one. You're going to be up into the quarterfinals, and your opponent is yet to be determined. It's either going to be Uncle Ronnie or This Is Not Sully. So how are you feeling about, playing one of those scary opponents in the next round?
I mean, right at the start of the tournament, I set my goal at I want to make top 8, and I've now done that. So I'm entirely happy with any result that ends up from here on out. So I don't care if I win or lose. Obviously, so as far as the opponent, though, I'm still going to treat the match very much seriously for sure. And I would bet that my opponent's going to end up being Ronnie. And honestly, that is terrifying, and I don't think I'm getting any further.
That's probably a pretty accurate assessment. I know how that feels. But I hope that you put on a good show. I'm looking forward to that one for sure.
Better show than this one.
Yeah, well, I mean, could it be worse?
It was still a good show. It was very unfortunate what happened with some of the deaths, but it was a very entertaining race. And just a wonderful showcase. Vulajin, you were playing out of your freaking mind. I mean, Shed, unfortunately, is quite good. And so Shed didn't make any mistakes either, but your play was, even by your standards, to me, it looked really superb. So I know that isn't probably much consolation, but it was fun to watch at the very least. So
Thank
thank you for that, I suppose.
I golded double jump apparently.
I golded bash.
Wait, what the heck did I? Oh, it's a fake gold on double jump because of the cutscene stack.
Haha, mine's not fake. Mine's not fake.
I wanted
Lol.
to ask you. That wasn't intentional, right, Rula?
No, it's not intentional.
Okay, I figured.
Well, you pulled it off
I
nicely.
also golded Enter Ginso. That one's real. Holy crap.
Yo, nice.
Well, I think we should go ahead and close up. Wonderful race, both of you. Congrats on the victory, Shed, and good luck in your next race, whoever your opponent may be in Vulajin. I look forward to your 28 coming soon. Thanks for talking with us, guys.
See ya.
Night.
No, unfortunately, that's all the Ori that we have for you tonight. But there's some more Ori coming up tomorrow. Starting it off, it's going to be at 4 p.m. EDT, and that's going to be myself playing against Spark. So it's going to be a pretty good match. Another one of the division finals coming up. And following that, we've got 2 exhibition matches showing off the Ori randomizer. So stick around for that stuff tomorrow because that's going to be pretty sick.
That's right. That's a block of all 3 in a row. The match with Sigma and then the 2 exhibitions directly after it. But that will do it for us today. So pleasure commentating with you, Sigma.
Always fun, Grim.
Yeah, and thank you to Og and Nans on the truck and Richard for restreaming. We will catch you all soon. Bye.
Damage as they head through. So, ooh, nice job. And wow, Yoko. Oh,
No,
my goodness.
oh no, Yoko. Oh my goodness. Please be careful.
He hasn't taken any like really bad deaths as result, but
Oh, no.
Why did I say that? Why did I say that?
Yeah, true shade. So we're going to see what Didu decides to do. Nice safety save there. And wow, the value from the safety save.
The trick itself requires precisely positioning a frog and managing your XP, but because that can happen, because that froggy has a chair and it can stomp it right on your tiny little head.
Oh god, Milton, get out of there!
Holy crap, the recovery from that.
Like, it's deceptive. Ooh, deceptively difficult. Rufus,
Holy
so close.
crap, Rufus.
Oh.
Oh god.
Fix it.
And what is happening now?
I don't know.
Oh, Monkey's shot going through.
Oh jeez, missed the double bash though. He's gotta go back up. Monthly's shots are phasing before. I hope he does not get that on the upper one. Jesus, broken into swamp.
Oh, Monkley getting hit by the shot.
Metal that Terra did. Oh, missing that, but he's got the backup. That's okay. Oh my gosh.
Oh, God.
Terra. Oh my gosh. Okay, try again. Just this time you can get to the platform.
What you've seen from runners like Lucidus, Uncle Ronnie, and Eviona so far in the tournament, and oh wow,
Bam.
I do not know how he survived.
Both runners getting that 5th.
Oh, Randomson had a really... Wow, what a nice backup, though. Randomson had trouble with the first spider shot, but now it's basically tied.
Go stomp the rocks. And oh,
Fluffy, what
I
are
didn't know you could do
doing?
that.
Oh,
You really just keep
goodness.
moving and skip that cutscene?
Oh, God! Hori's in the air! Hello!
Oh no. Oh Frankie. Frankie, please go away. Oh, that is so painful.
Oh, this is a party. Luckily, he does have a safety.
Yeah. Oh, mini boss not quite going according to plan. Melvin's gonna go with the stomp spam. Keep that frog away. Get out of here. Don't hit me with your chair. He says he gets through it okay, and we'll be just finishing up Misty.
The section is really difficult with the 5 health. Alright, he gets the bash off of the fish. So yeah, he gets through, but upcoming here is
He's
the
gone Kuro!
Oh, he died! Death! Richard is in the lead. No, they're tied. Richard just died as well.
What?
This is literally synced in the final escape, guys. Unbelievable.
They
Come
both
on.
stopped the thing together. Okay.
Each one of those grenades costs 1. He's got 1 left. That's enough for 2 grenade jump attempts. If he keeps missing in that particular way, he's got 1 chance left.
One more.
And he gets it! The
First
clutch!
try, and well, not first try, but you know what? First try.
We'll call it first try.